Frequently, clients will come in when they feel that there has been undue influence or some other impropriety, and they will tell you that the person who has been nominated as the executor is so hostile and biased against them that that person has to be removed. Frequently it comes up when you have a second marriage and the executor may be a child of the first marriage or a child of the second marriage, and the child of the whichever marriage is not the executors are objecting, claiming that this is unfair. It can also come up when you have siblings who, for whatever reason, absolutely do not get along and are mistrustful of each other. So one will come in and say that my brother and my sister cannot be a fair executor. Well, the courts have a strong policy favoring the executor that the testator chose to appoint. And they find that hostility, disagreement, conflict of interest between fiduciary and beneficiary is woefully insufficient. And such cases are very unlikely to prevail. And the wise course, I suggest, is to advise your client if this is not something you're probably going to prevail upon, it's going to be an expensive undertaking, and that you have to make sure that you're on record as telling the client that this is not likely to succeed. Removal, in fact, as the appellate division has said, requires clear and definite proof of fraud, gross carelessness, or indifference. And indifference is probably a weak word to use there when it's in the same sentence as fraud. Indifference means that the executor is paying absolutely no attention to what's going on with the estate, is not acting like a prudent investor, and is causing losses or highly likely to cause losses for the estate. And if you can meet that burden, you at least have a chance of getting an executor removed. Of course, then the court is unlikely to appoint your own client as the executor, but is most likely to appoint a third person, which only adds to the expense. The other thing to keep in mind, of course, and to make sure your client understands, is that if an executor is wasteful or engages in other misconduct or fails to exercise reasonable skill and prudence, which causes financial losses or spends money that shouldn't have been spent of the estate, then they can be surcharged, so that there is a commission that the executor will typically be receiving. Frequently, the executor is also a beneficiary. These are ways to make sure that the estate is kept whole, even if the fiduciary commits some degree of mismanagement. Because again, the court is extremely reluctant to remove an executor absent clear-cut fraud.